Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is September 6, 2021. Happy Labor Day, everyone. Happy New Year to all to you, Howard, and all the Jewish listeners and viewers.
I'm doing this from synagogue. I brought my dog to synagogue today.
Yeah, I love the pictures, on the walls.
Lindsay has some stuff on it. We've changed her name to Solana.
I think that's a great idea.
She doesn't answer to it.
Now you can sell her on the NFT market for more.
Taking her to the dog chain. Look at this dog. I say Solana and she gets a little excited like me.
Of course, because her portfolio is 90% Dogecoin and 10% Solana. So
I don't understand why people own things in a world where people are really focused on supply, like Ethereum coming out, and listen, the speculation is rampant. So let's get to there's two markets. Okay, here we are in September now of 2021, and there are literally two markets. And 2017 was a crypto bubble. The ICOs were just not healthy, right? Supply issues, and everybody could do it. But you got a kind of a look. Now we literally have two markets. And there's a market for young people, okay? And I'll get into it in a little bit. And then there's the market for old people, which is, and don't get me wrong, the old market's bigger and liquid, and you can do more things in it. I'm talking about the old market. You're going through, let's come back to that. I'm going to let her down. I hope my dog doesn't. She's just being a pest. Okay, let's go back to the NASDAQ and and we'll come back to this.
All right. So yes, the Nasdaq 100, the S&P 500, the large caps continue to make new all-time highs. The small caps are also finally back above the 50-day moving average. So still in that big range since February, setting up for potential breakout near 235. The tech sector is definitely leading. Has been leading lately. If you look at what's going on in software, new all-time high for IGV, which is the software ETF.
Yeah. There were some big breakouts, and finally some of my stupid names, but I think Elastic finally breaking out on a big, the Mongo news. The Mongo numbers were crazy. So the threesome of, and I say open source now because even Elastic may not be open source at this point when I'm reading, but you had the Mongo. Oh wow, Workday.
We've had a lot of positive earnings reaction. I mean, considering where their valuations are, like 3 months ago, people were talking about valuation because of rising interest rates. Nowadays, no one even cares about valuation anymore again, because all of those software names, they're trading at like 20, 30, 50 times price to sales ratio, and no one really is talking about it. I mean, and why would you when you have the crypto market where you don't even know how to value it? So
well, we'll get to that soon. I don't have an answer here, right? Like I think we've been telling people.
But anything.
Price has kept us in this market. Let's be honest. We are not students of fundamentals. We try, but this has been a price-driven momentum move driven by interest rates, lack of supply of great companies, incredible rotation, which has made this year, I'm underperforming this year at many levels, and I'm okay underperforming when the indexes are all up over 20%. I mean, if you add my crypto, which I don't add, like it's crazy, but in a market where I pride myself on trying to pick some ideas, I've underperformed this year. Whatever, I would not have predicted this rotation being this strong in, let's pull them up, Goldman Sachs. Like, I mean, if I kick myself, but this has been a boom. The crypto has been a boom for more than just Google and the FANG stocks, okay? Crypto has been a boom for financials. They're lathering their chops behind the scenes, positioning themselves to be in wealth management, which they've been doing. In their credit, they've been doing wealth management roll-ups and commitment to wealth management type businesses at Goldman Sachs, rolling up huge wealth managers. So they're positioned to take care of the money of this next generation, okay? Because eventually that money looks for help. They may all talk a good game and they want to stake their coins and they want to leave their money in the digital world, but Goldman will be there to meet them. And I hate to say it, but that's how the world works. So the financials and the FANGs are working. Okay,
isn't that a bit counterintuitive, Howard? The financials to be benefiting. I mean, isn't
they are just like
it's supposed to?
hang on, you would say that Google wouldn't benefit from a decentralized world. Okay, I would argue that they are. More companies that have to spend money on marketing, they have incredible profit margins. They have to build communities. If you're running an NFT product, or if you're running a game on the decentralized world, eventually you're going to have to spend money. Everybody, Peloton, why do they need to spend money? They're spending money right now because when you get big enough, you have to spend money. The biggest benefactors of people spending money, Peloton, finally, I saw an ad on a TV. Okay, whether you like it or hate it, they come to spend money. Okay, so this decentralized world, as it expands and thousands of companies knock each other off in open source software, they will differentiate themselves by spending money on the internet, and that is Google and Facebook. And you can look at the stock prices of Google and Facebook and see they benefit from, again, this could just be a trend. I'm just trying to help what I talk to smart people explain to me when Chris Dixon says they're going to benefit from one of the smartest and best in the world lays out a thesis. I'm really just quoting Chris Dixon here. Okay, so obviously Google is in an uptrend from ad spend. That's their core business, and this decentralized world is coming for them. As someone who hates Goldman Sachs and still calls Goldman Sachs for advice, whether it comes around selling Robinhood stock at some point, or I know that I still have to call them. If you want certain things done, Goldman Sachs are people that you want to talk to.
Okay, then what's your take on Visa and Mastercard? Because they've been
Visa and Mastercard
underperforming lately.
Well, again, I don't know. Like they're railroads, so in these are just small corrections in what are massive uptrends so far, right? But in a world where we're talking fractions of the universe are moving their money to a decentralized world. So I don't know. I just think this is just a pullback and an uptrend for these two companies. I don't know what to read into Visa and MasterCard. So I can't really comment on them. They're not really in trouble here. So let's keep going on around the FANGs. So if we circle the FANGs here today.
All right, let's go to Amazon then.
Yeah, let's go to Amazon.
Big range, but
Big
starting to act
but boring. Netflix broke out. It could be on the news that Apple is. It could be on the news that kind of winning this battle with Apple on the 30%. So obviously that's found money for Netflix.
Yeah, Spotify's bouncing too. There you go.
Yeah, so those are bouncing on news of this. Obviously, Spotify has much more competition in price than Netflix does. Okay, so if you look at Netflix, which I'm long, the one area where they have a massive edge, and growth is definitely slowing because there's only so many people in the world, is international. I think with this pricing and not having to go to the Apple Store, this opens up Netflix's content to a much bigger, high margin audience. So Netflix will benefit more than Spotify. Okay, so Netflix also doing well. Microsoft breaking out.
Yeah, plus Netflix, they might introduce games. That would be a big new.
Long way to go. Because games got its own problems, which we'll get into. Okay, so let's go to gaming, because this is where decentralized world comes in. Go look at EA breaking out. Go to Activision.
Setting up, yeah.
Which has been weak. Activision's been the weak one.
The strongest gaming stock is that Singaporean SE.
Yeah, SE.
And they've been on a tear. Look at it. Look at this thing. It was like $10 stock 3 years ago.
Yeah, what do we know? And that that's been showing up on my screens forever, but I just don't know. I don't play games. So listen to people watching the show. Stop telling your kids not to play games. They're going to pay for your retirement. So software, Ivan, we went through Elastic. What else broke out? Mongo broke out.
Tech in general has been extremely strong, and not only software, but also semiconductors are holding well. Obviously, NVIDIA is the big leader, near all-time highs. AMD is kind of holding well above its 20-day moving average. Even the semiconductor equipment stocks, which were hit during the earnings season, are starting to kind of crawl back. So in general, tech has been really strong. Also, all of the companies that are related to...
I was looking at a company that I've owned since a startup. I got sent some shares because we've owned it distributed from a fund in DigitalOcean. and that
Oh
exploded.
yeah,
I don't know what the
absolutely.
news was, but
One of the
that
leaders,
exploded.
yeah. One of the leaders, one of the new leaders.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hard. It's only a $7 billion. I say only because it's trading at a bazillion times
yeah, 8 billion.
earnings. But again, this is a company that has an extremely distributed customer base, right? At SMBs and businesses for on-demand infrastructure for cloud. So in the AWS Google world, there's 1 million buyers of DigitalOcean on weakness in terms of companies that could buy it. I don't know Lightspeed. That's another
It's
one.
kind of a version of Shopify. So one of the new leaders, relatively new. Shopify is also setting up, looking pretty healthy here.
I don't know a better $100 billion company that I'd rather own than Shopify. So I still
180, but yeah.
I ran into a young lady today starting a store at a women's golf apparel line, and she said, and I said to her, like, I assumed you were building, like, she seemed like a young, smart woman, and I was like going through her plan with her, and I was like, I assume you're going to have this on, just like the last question, I like this on Shopify, right? And she goes, no, I got some Russian programmers. I said, hang on, how old are you? I said, what are you, like, what could you be talking about? Who is giving you advice to hire people to build a store in an era of Shopify? Get your product live, get it out on Shopify. If it's good enough for billion-dollar brands, it's good enough for you. And I just think it's still an undiscovered, at that level, when kids are starting their first stores. I think I talked about figs last week, Ivan. I didn't buy it at 35.
Yeah, you talked about it right here, actually, at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So definitely the Shopify platform is
built on
growing.
So I think Shopify is one of the interesting Chinese companies. I was with one of my LPs. Is the Chinese version, BZUN.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which of all the Chinese stocks, I have not owned it until recently, but I had dinner with a good friend of mine visiting from Taiwan, and he walked me through the case of why China will stop messing with certain of these companies. We will see. I bought a little bit, just schmuck insurance, just to keep an eye on it, but technically there's no reason to own this, but that's all of China. And I think last week they were out China saying no games for kids 18 and under. I just think they're either completely whitewashing U.S. investors to get Chinese investors, and they're almost done because they just keep hammering us with news about how stupid they want to be towards owning Chinese stocks. So I don't know how you own Chinese stocks here unless you really understand that this is just a shareholder transfer to Chinese shareholders and assume that they'll start pumping these once they know that U.S. don't own them. But in a world where there's so much working in the U.S., I don't know why you would even spend much time here. Is there anything else? So financials, semiconductors.
Yeah, I mean basically everything is bouncing. Even Chinese and gold miners bounced last week, and the big reason that we haven't really mentioned it is that the U.S. dollar has been in a pullback mode in the past couple weeks. So you can see basically straight down while stock have been going straight up. So that's a big reason. The U.S. dollar is the main denominator. This is why the emerging markets and
have been stronger.
Their stock they'll be strong. Obviously, they'll be strong when the U.S. dollar is going down. But this is why small caps bounced, and why it's basically they're a mirror image of the U.S. dollar. if you compare the charts. Mm-hmm. So let's not forget about this reason. Interestingly, stocks are strong while seasonally they're supposed to be weak. What was that saying? Sell Rosh Hashanah, whatever, buy Yom Kippur.
Yeah, I don't think the millennials.
No one is selling.
The millennials say those things. It's buy Solana on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So, but I mean, meanwhile, my wife's making a lot of noise. But if we really look back through some of the explosive breakouts here in Elastic, Mongo, you have these kind of next, open source is kind of as close as you get to a world of decentralized, and I think you're starting to see these proxies for decentralized world.
Proxies have been strong too.
Okta as well. Okta is another open kind of.
Okay.
So these three are the big ones: Okta, Mongo, Elastic. As they become less open source though, we're starting to see more and more money pile into the crypto world. So it is working. So now let's head over to the crypto world for a few minutes. Because I think
Yeah, before we go, I mean, obviously anything that is publicly traded and related to crypto has also been doing well. Look at Coin, building that new IPO base. It's still what, a $59 billion company, and it is the fastest growing, $50 billion company right now in the world. Look at their growth. It's
yeah,
insane.
the problem is, and I'm considered an early adopter, and I think people who follow me know that we had a problem last week. But Coinbase stepped into the void. They did a great job on Twitter getting me support and trying to make me whole. But the problem in crypto is the problem that I had, and Coinbase is a perfect example. Is like we're in a bit of the Wild West. I got a text saying my two-factor authorization might have been exposed. The first thing I did was panic, and I made sure that I wiped out my Coinbase account, something that happened to you theoretically. Isn't that how your account got swept?
Yeah, but at the time I didn't have anything in the account, but yeah, they stole the account.
Okay, so I had enough money to worry, and I moved out. They figured out a way to make me whole. What's They can't do that for everybody. The customer support problems in this Robinhood Coinbase world are massive. There's tens of millions of customers, and there's not. I heard something that Coinbase hired 2,000 customer support people in the last year. Okay, that is a lot of onboarding to do. Those are Amazon-like problems. Will they solve these? Yes, because their margins are insane. They have 85% net margins at Coinbase. So going back to Coinbase, it's almost indestructible if you want a proxy for crypto. But to truly, and we've been saying this for a year, and now we're going to spend more time on it, to truly do this stuff, you have to, like, even you have a wallet at Galaxy and are swing trading, right? You have to experience Gemini, sorry. You have to experience it to really understand how to do it. And that means getting a wallet. So let's go to some of the crypto charts right now. And I think we live in a two chain world right now, Ethereum and Solana. And you basically have, I've been talking about Solana here since it was about 14 bucks. And, I was lucky to get exposed to it, I don't know, in the pennies from a fund that I'm an investor in. And I think what's happened here is the speed at which Solana's infrastructure works is faster and cheaper than Visa. They don't have the amount of transactions, obviously, but the transactions being processed on the Solana network are super fast, super cheap. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, in an old world, Ivan, your margin is my opportunity. In the decentralized world, everything goes to zero immediately. So what Solana is working on is such a micro level and such a speed level. There really is no reason for people other than diversification to change their platform when they're building games, when they're building other functionality on top of the blockchain. So what you're seeing in these type of things that work in this wave, this current wave that we have with Solana, and I obviously have never seen anything like this, and would been lucky to own this because I would have sold most of my position into this type of parabolic move in March and April. Guilty as charged, and you and I have not seen anything like this. We've not seen, maybe since CMGI and the first internet bubble, stocks or any type of asset do what this has done. Where's the 200-day moving average on Solana?
Oh, I have to add it. Like I removed everything here, so.
I mean, people don't care. So what's happening?
It will probably somewhere here. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So, but can we insert it?
Let's see. I'm not really using this platform too much, but let's see. What is this? No.
We should have used Koifan. But anyway, they don't have crypto. Don't worry about it. This 200-day moving average has to be in the 40s or 50s.
I mean, this is weekly, so. It's probably even lower than that.
Like we've never seen this type of extension. Okay. Now, what's happening with Solana is people are staking it. So they're not selling it. They're earning 7% by staking it to the ecosystem, okay, which is a new form of bond and interest rate, right? Instead of lending it so people can create shorts on it and come back to haunt you and create more volatility, we're kind of seeing the first perfect storm. And I think Ethereum, we're seeing this too, where the engineers and the people involved are so confident in the future of these blockchains that they were not lending them out. They are not allowing derivatives to be created at many levels. Okay, the banks aren't involved. There is no sellers. Okay, and you can call these people crazy, but you're not going to change their behavior here. Price is not, they're not trading on 200-day moving averages and what you and I used to trade on. And they don't want to pay the taxes, a lot of them. So, and they're finding ways to buy NFTs and buy other assets using the same ecosystem they're in. So they're trading their Solana for art or for games or for tokens or however, or switching it into Ethereum. However they're doing it is staying in the ecosystem. I called it the flippening back in March or April. And I'm an old person. Here we are in September, and Ethereum is basically back at all-time highs here, Ivan.
Basically, I mean, not really, but basically, yeah.
If it closed here on a monthly basis, it would be on an all-time high. And what you're seeing is these sharp, this is a different type of pullback because I think the usage on the Ethereum and Solana blockchains is sticky with gamings and NFT. And now there's use cases and people feel much more comfortable staking these. And once they're staked, this supply is kind of out of the market from what I can understand, and I could be wrong, which leads to this almost like this weird perfect storm of buying. With if people are willing to buy it and not lend it and stake it to the ecosystem so other people can build stuff and create, the ecosystem gets bigger. So you have this basically a public, this is the very first public venture capital at scale that we're starting to see. This was a $60 million company. And in the power of Discord and the power of Telegram and Signal and Twitter and StockTwits, you have this incredible dissemination of information about how these things work, what's getting built on these things, stuff that Wall Street didn't have. So this is kind of like a new inside baseball. And that's why I would say people, I don't know what wallet they use, but whether it's a MetaMask or Solana wallet, I've talked about the Rainbow wallet, or whether you use the Phantom wallet on Solana, just you need to try it to understand. But anyways, I don't know how else to explain it to people other than trying it. You were using, like you said, you're using
Gemini, yeah.
As your broker. And it's pretty exciting. I don't know. Have you had any experience yet? Have you caught something like this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trading Ethereum mostly, and that's what I own. But the move in Solana is, something that I've never seen.
Yeah, I'm trying to, and I'm trying to figure out a bear case. And obviously, the mood, there's going to be a price at which the sellers step into the market, but we just haven't seen it. And so what you see is like everybody's picking up usage and trying to create products on top of this. At the same time, at scale, the product seems to be doing what it's promised: high speed, low transaction costs, and then thirdly, the sellers are staking and not wanting to sell it. So I think we'll start seeing it. Some of the other ones that people are talking about are Polygon. I have not traded it or not owned it as a blockchain that works, and Cardano. So I think people need to, at this point, start using these things. But at the same time, understand that you have to take all the security you can in two-factor and passwords, and really follow protocol on how to do this properly, because there's very few people that can help you if things go wrong. So that's it on my end.
All right. Sounds good.
Rates are just continuing to...
They're perking up. They've been perking up, and interestingly, kind of, I guess, flat for the past week or so. They're not really impacting tech. Tech continues to lead, and crypto continues to outperform tech. That's basically been the story.
We've gone through the worst part of the generally the calendar year, August, September-ish.
Seasonally, but yeah. And the S&P is what? Have you seen a similar chart to the S&P 500? It's up 20% and basically zero pullbacks. There were like 2-3% pullbacks. This is insane.
I wrote a blog post, I shared it about this.
Even 2013 was more volatile than this. Like we've never seen such a steady climb and with so little volatility.
Yeah, and all the while, it's so interesting. We went from and again, I don't think it's related to the government, but we went from a president that, if we look at the 4 years, if we go back and look at the monthly during Trump, it was a great 4 years in the market. But look at the volatility. Forgetting COVID, he shut the government down there, that one spike in 18. Obviously COVID, I don't know how, let's take that out, but there was some volatility under the last, I just could not have predicted this. But anyways, price says stay in. There is a point here where pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Some of this is over my pay grade. I think everybody's got to remember that the other side of this volatility is high volatility. And it's lurking, I just don't know where from. I mean, we got out of Afghanistan. It seemed to have been a sloppy exit, and no one seems to care. So I don't know where it's coming. If you had told me that China was going to just ban pretty much everybody from using the internet in China, and that we were going to be in kind of a trade war, and that the Afghanistan thing would lead to no chaos, the pullout, I would have said so I don't know if it's just interest rates and money, but at the same time the bears are just getting run over. All right, so we'll be back next week. Hopefully I'm overseas, but Ivan, hopefully you're good. And how are you positioned right now?
Bullish.
Yeah, I know that, but like looking for new ideas or?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, as you said, on Friday, I saw some of the semiconductor stocks setting up. Also, some of the COVID-related stocks also started to perk up on Friday. Like this one is interesting. It's like a health pass. I think it could, it could have room to run. It has an interesting story.
Is that Clear is Alan, we use it. I think it's an incredible founder, an incredible company. This is Clear?
Yeah, Clear Secure, yeah.
Yeah. It was a great idea. I mean, they had gone through hell. I think Clear is an incredible, nobody uses it. Whenever I go through the airport at Clear, it's still like very few people use it, but I think it's a game changer for me local. And it doesn't help me internationally, but as the Arizona airport has it, does San Diego have it? No. San Diego doesn't have it? Anyways, tremendous growth opportunities for Clear. Again, in a world of high regulation, I don't know how it works, but Clear, if you can get it, if you're an American and can get Clear, pay for it works. So that's interesting. That's a swing trade idea. Okay.
Yeah, but according to you, it's a long-term idea. So
yeah, I think my favorite idea right now is on strength is this elastic breakout, and I think Shopify is going to surprise people.
Yeah, I own Shopify. It's one of my longer-term holdings.
I think Shopify, but I think Netflix also will surprise people.
Tesla is also holding really well, and
yeah, incredible. I mean, you've got solar super weak and it's staying super strong, right? What you said, coal was stronger than solar.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, coal, the past year, obviously not the past 5 years. Coal is the best performing industry.
All bankrupt companies too, and now
in the market.
It lost $15 in 2020, and now they're going to earn money. Oh my God, they went from losing $33 a share to making money this year. That's unbelievable. Okay, well, but in a world where solar has performed terribly as an index, and Tesla's been able to hang on here, I think this is an incredible story. And as I've been talking about Tesla more and more, I'm not an owner of the stock and probably should have bought a car just so I could experience it, but you can't separate a Tesla person from their car. What's this?
Also, anything marine shipping related, obviously the shipping rates are still 10 times above what they used to be. Yeah. So all of those stocks in that
there's a lot of people hurt by this stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
these trends don't tend to last. So these are the ones you have to buy when they're in the dumps. I don't know if I'd be chasing these up here.
Okay.
They're gouging their customers right now. People just the logistics nightmare for a lot of these startups that are in the DTC business or in the consumer goods business is hell. But yeah, this has been, for the people that bet on this during the height of COVID, they're getting their payoff for sure. Incredible run. All right, everybody, have a great week. Ivan, thanks.
All right, Howard. See you next week.